Today I'm going to attack a question that's a pretty challenging one. That's how to lower my teenage auto insurance costs. Oh, I should introduce myself first. I'm Niall Walker. I am a CIC certified insurance counselor. My office and agency is located in Washington State. Much of what I discuss has national, basically things that are across the country. There may be some things that are state specific. But in our discussion today, I think you'll find that the things we talk about, you'll be able to find no matter what state you live in is going to apply. So anyway, back to trying to insure our teenage drivers at a cost that's not going to either put us in financial ruin or not, or leave them unprotected when they're driving is important, and something that's going to require some work on your part as a parent, or if you happen to be that youthful driver that's the one that's out looking for insurance. I hope this information is helpful. First of all, you got to understand that insurance premiums are based on the likelihood of loss. So the insurance companies will factor all kinds of things in determining the rate, and they do lump everybody in together. So all teenage drivers, let's say 16 years old, that are males, will be all linked, and so the claims that occur in that age group is going to be shared by the cost of the premium of everybody else that's in that age group. And since the likelihood of claims occurring and are higher for the young drivers without experience, then it's going to cost those young drivers more to buy insurance. Now, there are some things that you can do to improve the group of people you're being rated with, so that your premium comes down because the losses are less. So let me just review with you some of those things. First of all, it's very important that you do everything you can to keep your driving record clean. It's not uncommon for young drivers who are pretty excited about this experience of driving to share that experience with their friends. We call that distractive driving. You can have, I don't know how many times I've pulled up an intersection and look in the car adjacent to me, it's full of teenage kids. The music's blaring. They're all rocking out, and they're talking and looking behind over their shoulder, the driver is, to make comments to others in the car, not really focused on what they're doing. They're focused on everything else, and then it's easy for an accident to occur. In my lifetime, my wife and I have been hit by teenage drivers, always in the rear end, usually after we've stopped for vehicles that stopped in front of us, and they are distracted, and therefore they just don't see us and run in the back of our vehicles. I got a fun story for you. I've shared before on a previous video, but there's a high school teacher here, very, very likable guy, and the students really like him. He also happens to be the driver's ed teacher. And as a driver's ed teacher, he had a set of twin daughters that were taking driver's ed. And in the midst of their driving with their learner's permit, one of them had pulled into the parking lot at Safeway, and I don't know what she was doing, but she became distracted when she was trying to back up. Instead of going backwards, she went forward and ended up in the produce section in the middle of Safeway. Now, the school and the kids in the school absolutely loved it. The high school driver's ed teacher was such a great teacher that he taught his kids how to drive through the Safeway store. So anyway, be aware, it's a problem, it's a challenge, but it's important to try to keep your records clean. Please don't be distracted. So your cell phones, passing laws all the time about that, but there's other things that distract you as well. Trying to do makeup or in a car, or hot drinks or other things. Trying to even eat your meal of the day with one hand on the steering wheel, and trying to locate your food with your hands and whatever. All those kinds of things would contribute to the likelihood of a problem. So those things you need to really make sure you're aware of and be careful with that. Some of those other factors, though, have to do with factors that apply to all drivers. One of those factors is there multiple drivers, and is there multiple vehicles in the household. So a young driver that goes out and buys a policy, and they're the only one on the policy, and they have just a single vehicle, they're going to be rated the highest rate possible, because the worst factors are being applied to them. No multiple car discount, no driving history, probably not a very good credit score because they probably don't have any credit yet. All those kinds of factors that most of us work hard to get are not going to be applied to that young driver if we go out and we try to buy insurance on our own. The best way and the most inexpensive way for you to get your insurance premium costs lower is to make sure you're taking advantage of all the credits that are available. So my recommendation is you treat your parents very, very well, because it is best if you can be insured on their policy, because you will get their multiple car discounts. If they own a home and other things and they have a multiple policy discounts, you'll get those discounts. You also will get maybe a loss-free credit because they've hadn't had any losses for a period of time. So there's lots of things that will lower your rate as a result of your parents' experience. Now also be aware that you can destroy your parents' credits pretty quickly by you being careless and having claims and or a bunch of citations. So for a parent, you're helping your child out is best if she could be included or he could be included on your package policy. However, it is a risk because they can adversely affect your own rates. So be aware of that. You may also want to consider removing some coverages. And knowing already that the young drivers are going to be more likely to have accidents, I would highly recommend, for the least the first period of time they begin to drive, that you don't buy them a new car. Probably they won't own that car for very long. So I would suggest that you buy a vehicle that they operate that's that's dependable but not necessarily worth a lot of money. And then not only is the vehicle value less, and so your rates will be a little less, but you also can choose not to even insure it for some coverages. So for instance, you may not need to carry comprehensive, which covers the vehicle for theft and vandalism and things basically that can happen to it while it's sitting still. And you don't need collision because you don't care if the car is damaged by running into something or somebody running into that, because the value is low enough that you can absorb those costs. If you can, those are two coverages I would really consider not having to carry on your children's vehicles, so that they can lower those overall costs. Then as they mature and they grow and they become have more experience, and then you go ahead and start to reward them with higher valued vehicles as time goes on. And then when they become adults and possibly married, then they go out and get their own insurance. So those are just some of the ideas that you can apply to your own teenage drivers. Oh, one other big discount, and it's a sizable one, and that is a good student credit. So most insurance companies use 3.0 as the threshold to be able to receive a good student credit. And that credit with most companies is between 20 and 30%. So it can change and have a significant impact on your students' insurance cost. So that's one more reason they should work hard in school and try to get their good grades, because it not only will get them to college, but it'll lower their insurance costs so they can afford to drive their vehicle. I hope this information was helpful. I would highly suggest that you spend time with your agents or do a little shopping with these young drivers on your vehicle, because each company does treat it a little differently, and you may find that there may be some other ways that you can lower those costs. Good luck in your driving as a young driver. Again, please be careful, because your rates will be determined by how well you drive, and they will be lowered as you continue to drive safely. Thank you again for spending a little time with me this morning. We'd love to invite you to come and take a look at our website at www.walkeragency.net. We will have other videos there as well for you to review, and encourage you to take a look. We hope this was of help, and have a great day.